colleagues here and here, and of course we learned a lot from Professor Varma here, because now that he is sitting very quietly there, he used to sit very quietly at Bilbao, and at one point of time he would come up and say, "Oh no, you are not doing, you are doing it completely wrong." So that was a fantastic experience. So when tuning actually went up to finished, and then we again went for this Rishi project. So it was kind of a natural transformation. We had many of the existing partners, and we had new partners, and of course we had our European partners, new partners, and them as well. So believe me when I missed the 5GM, because all of we have a very small team of people working with Rishi right now at the university. So initially it was, let's start with what actually is Rishi. This is basically an amalgamation of colors, all colors. So this is one of the collages. Well, I was looking for one of the group photos in front of our university, which many of the universities has. And then I understood that we have 40 different campuses across the city, and it was like you cannot have one group photo in front of one campus. So I made a combination of many of the campuses, and I got one picture, just a representative picture of students, faculty, and international delegates in one of our conferences. So some facts which can be googled, and this is this is the oldest university of the country, which spanned from when it started, it spanned from Afghanistan to Myanmar, and it was established in January 24, 1857, and there are 64 postgraduate departments with a capacity of more than 13 lakh students, postgraduate. I'm not talking about the undergraduates. So we have 151 colleges and 21 institutes affiliated. Well, this 151 colleges are talking about undergraduate degrees, BA, BScs, and BComs. And of course, we have 15% of the total seats reserved for foreign nationals. So that is the existing practice. Well, we have a very dated information at the moment in our website, so I thought I would go with this one because we have a 5-year calendar. So this one is talking about the sponsored research, as you can see. So the site is the grants, and this is the year, and the number is from 602, 472, and 452. These are the counts of sponsored projects up till from 1516 to 1718. And agreements, so MOUs, exchange agreements and all. Then there are Europe, Southeast Asia, UK, US, India and Australia. So of course Canada is also there. So it's more than 24 countries. We are already having really strong exchanges. As for the education, yes, we have masters in science, technology, humanities, commerce, agriculture, law, and education. So encompassing everything. And of course, all the 64 departments, they are offering PhD courses. And out of the 64, there are 8 engineering faculties who offer both undergrads and postgrads. I belong to the engineering faculty.
Some problems with, I don't know what it is.
Then it was converted by UGC to Human Resource Development Center, which can offer, for the last 33 years, it has been conducting courses for the faculty members of this university, and also beyond. It offers refresher courses to faculties of all the universities and colleges. And of course, during the pandemic, it also started using the online mode for continuing education. Graduated to Rishi, and then we are trying to look beyond the classroom basically. It's like, okay. Also, all these pictures are taken by me, so no picture credits given to Google. In our university, all these pictures are. So the first one, what is the current status for internationalization? We already, as for the inclusiveness and diversity and equity, we already with 6 Nobel laureates associated with our university during their experiment days, during their education days. So, Rabindranath Tagore was the first Asian Nobel laureate, and obviously everyone knows of the Raman effect. And the newer ones, Amartya Sen and Abhijit Banerjee, they are the economics ones. Okay. So, now coming to internationalization for all, regardless of the caste or financial means or socio-economic capital. So this is one of the pictures which we got in our main campus. So you can see Professor Surendranath Das, he was the Vice Chancellor at the time. So the existing policy obviously supports diversity and provides rules for inclusion as per the Government of India rules. So we are trying to nurture a learning environment where the learners from across communal, regional and religious spectrums are able to access the pedagogical and extracurricular resources and infrastructures with safety and dignity. So that is our mission. And we understand that in order to bring proper internationalization of education, we have actually identified, or somebody else has identified, this is a common one. So we have to take the help of student, faculty and the staff. But obviously, these are the issues that come up always. Faculty are not always provided with direction on what constitutes an internationalized curriculum, and they may be unsure of how to integrate international dimensions into curriculum, because sometimes it is understood that just by including a particular module from one of the international universities, we will be internationalizing. Somebody thinks that we are teaching in English, that is enough internationalization. So it's not exactly any one of them, maybe it's a combination of many different aspects which the individual faculties are not always understanding. And the most prominent institutional barriers to faculty involvement in internationalization are obviously the restrictive institutional policies, and which no one, I think, we all know, the lack of financial support. With all the good intention, we are almost always restricted with the fund flow. So, as for introduction of the new changes to course curriculum, our focus was on building a strategic coordinated framework that integrates the policies, programs, initiatives and individuals to make the university more globally oriented and internationally connected, more than what it is doing right now. And for that, maybe instead of adding something, we are trying to look for a infusing curriculum, where we will be infusing intercultural knowledge, attitudes or skills into curriculum. And obviously, introduction of the new course curriculum in line with NEP, which we all are doing at the moment. So, the university emphasized the need for multidisciplinary learning, skill development and flexible course structures to encourage the students to pursue their interests and passions. And obviously, under the new course structure, we have given the students to exit the courses after the 2nd and the 4th semester, and also they can choose science subjects along with the humanities as one of their choices, which was not good. Okay, so coming to strengthening the structure of international offices, redesigning the organization chart of the offices according to various functions, this particular point will unfortunately say that we till now we don't have a very strong international office. A section of the registrar's office will be doubling up as caretaker of the international visits and exchanges and collaborations. And obviously there will be the finance department to help with the project fund management and everything. So what is we are now going to do is to finalize the parts and aims of the International Relations Office, which will be dedicated towards totally dedicated towards international faculty visits, exchanges and collaborations. So this will be like parts will be the faculty and non-academic staff, where special attention of the International Relation Office will be towards team building, to developing the capacity to work together, towards achieving a curriculum internationalization in its proper form, and to equip the faculty and non-academic staff with skills, knowledge and attitudes necessary to achieve internationalization for all. Also to promote the study abroad program, and also to communicate effectively to all the stakeholders the scopes and benefits of international collaborations and exchanges. So at present, we already have the language of teaching as English. There are 9 international languages being taught already. We have an MA in French. We have special courses on Spanish and German. And we have also Arabic and Southeast Asian languages. So obviously there is the UGC HRDC, which hosts training workshops for the faculty and the staff accreditation, as I said. And the only thing is that when I came up with the shadowing work, I understood that it's not being practiced properly in our case. The only thing is the staff do is that they can go for skill upgradation programs from time to time, but shadowing as work is not being practiced. So maybe we can think of doing that, or at least do a part of it from now on. We are thinking of it. As you know, the international exchanges will challenge the students to think critically within a global context, and challenge also the faculty to think differently about their field of specialization. So we are trying to strengthen the capacities of all the different mobility schemes that are already existing within the university, and also offered by the different government bodies from time to time, like the open calls for projects and all, so as to support the mobility. And we are trying to formulate mobility regulations in consultation with all the stakeholders, mostly the faculty, staff and the students, and also to a certain extent the industry representatives and other stakeholders like the parents of students and members of the civil society. And the present mobility scheme obviously provides financial support to a limited extent to all the faculties and also to the students up to a certain level. This one is done. So as of the designing the mobility area on the university website, where you can show the offers of each partner university, here we could understand that we already have multidisciplinary projects and PhD works between different faculties. So that's already there, and that is being showcased in the university website already. But normally we don't have workshops to formalize the joint focus areas within the different faculties, and which can be used. And obviously we do use the Facebooks and all other social networking sites for communicating to a certain extent, but not much. So there is no formal way of communicating using them. So it may be used more often so as to reach more students and more faculties. And obviously, internationalization at home, and obviously recruiting international students, agreeing on credit transfer systems between partner universities. We cannot actually do credit transfers with everyone, but we can always select a set of universities with whom we can do the credit transfers. And obviously Erasmus Plus programs are there, but we can think of widening the scope by doing more offers for students to study abroad. For feedback and self-assessment, of course, every visit is associated with a report which speaks about the learning progress of the faculty or the student, but obviously there is not much of a constructive feedback that is given back to the faculty or the student. That's not there is no formal process of giving a feedback actually. So we can think of incorporating that. For schedule construction, the problem with sustainability, this was one of the criterions given. So every project completion means that you have to release all the resources that has been given to you during the project execution, like infrastructure, the staff support, and obviously any part of the university fund support. So everything is normally released, but that often disturbs the potential follow-up research of the project. So what we propose is that some special provisions, in fact some of the projects had special provisions in their mandate to continue beyond their lifetime. So they were like there was the World Bank projects which were which provisioned some funds during their lifetime so that they could sustain beyond their termination point. But for other projects, the university has to manage the fund and all. So this is again a point difficulty with us to sustain the usefulness of the project. Global practices and global services. So we are thinking of changing to or maybe adopting the competence-based student-centric principles in curriculum and syllabus design besides teaching, learning and assessment approaches. We have we have the university library which houses all the common guidelines and good practices and also the documents, common documents shared by the faculty. Debate that whether or not we have more utilization of ICT in education in our university. As for the synergies with the territorial context, there are regular seminars, discourses held by the faculties to engage in social and scientific discussions. And many of the research projects and programs involve active participation of the members of the civil society. There are joint workshops, research programs between the university, and obviously there is a need, still there is a need to address the stakeholders' view about globalization when we are talking about joint research workshops. As for visibility, we publish regularly in the university website, and obviously we have the annual reports, and there are joint workshops between national and international partners to exchange ideas. This is one of the such picture where we can see students and international visitors talking. Obviously there are regular collaborations which lead to substantial research publications. And this is something which is very interesting. How do we sustain the effect? We have the walls. Okay, 2 walls are built, but and the foundation is laid during the rishi, and what happens to the other 2 walls? Where do we put it? So we don't have the roof yet, and basically sustainability means we have to sustain with this, we have to build the other parts as well. So we have to plan the human and financial resources to support the aspects and identify future actions to improve and extend the project results. Yes, very important. Financial management, how do we do that? Okay, so till now, there is a finance department in our university which is handling all the project details in the absence of a dedicated international office. So the information flow between the different international projects and the financial services is always a challenging factor. And as for the fund flow, we are bounded by the Government of India rules and regulations, and obviously when we are talking about Erasmus, it has its own restrictions. So we have to have a combination of the two. And the tools. So the softwares and instruments that allow to manage and audit in an efficient and effective way. Okay. So who, I would say not the tool, but the persons. The persons who are responsible to manage are the finance officer, and we have a dedicated Pro-Vice Chancellor of Finance, and obviously the project staff who are responsible. So again,